Map generation has a greater impact on win rates than Civ balance. Okay. This is something I've been discussing with people on Twitch the last few days, and wanted to put a post on here to see other opinions. The main gist of my opinion is that given two players of equal skill, the map generation is far more likely to impact who wins than the civs that they are playing. Before you tell me I'm wrong, take a look at your own replays. How often do you find you have two forward golds and forward deer while your opponent has two back golds and back deer, or vice versa? As an example, take Ottoman versus English, which is supposed to be English favored, right? I don't know about that, but let's keep reading. At Diamond and above, English has a 75% win rate, so. I guess he's right. I will be willing to bet a big proportion of those wins will be because Ottomans spawned with two forward wood lines and exposed food. I also want people. So, is he saying that in 50 or like in 60% of those 57% it was bad spawn for Ottomans? Maybe. I also want people to think about the map spawn in an extended game. I've seen countless maps where one player will have easy access to their third and fourth gold, while the other has to go exposed. That's actually kinda true. Tree lines are another one. I'm looking at you, High View. And then put all that together, the wood lines, the gold and food spawns, we come to the main issue, ease of defending. You can significantly increase your chance of winning if you happen to spawn in such a way that one wall protects multiple resources. Conversely, you are in a much worse position if all of your resources are spread and can only be protected by one giant wall. More wall, more investment, more idle time equal less military/slower age up. And I guess my main problem is, this is entirely out of your control. Yes, you can argue the part of skill expression in this game is adapting to your spawn. However, I don't think anyone can deny a player with a favorable spawn has a massive advantage over a non-favorable spawn before you even look at civ balance. I've always been a fan of the randomly generated maps, but I do think it's time to start looking at the mirrored generations. The map itself is random on one side and then mirrored on the other. I get the fourth gold, you get the forward gold. I appreciate this takes away some of the skill expression, but I do think it's the way forward. Interested to know other people's opinions. So like, I kinda agree with him, but I don't want to remove the skill expression that this gives. And this also makes, like, if you play a lot of games, it makes things more interesting as well. And I've seen people with bad spawns win a lot of times actually against people with good spawns. And I think like in tournaments at top level, civilization is more important, or not the civilization versus the other enemy civilization, but how good one civilization is on that map. Not on the spawn, but on the map in specific, right? Like, he has a point, I just don't think his point is, like, the matter is strong enough, right? Let's see the comments. I don't know if mirror generation is the way to go, but developers definitely need to further into producing more balanced map generations. There was a BC vs WAM game yesterday, HRE vs China, where two big golds clearly spawned closer to WAM and were next to each other. A couple keeps plus army in the middle meant he controlled 16k gold, and there was little BC could do. At my pleb level it doesn't matter as much, but it does sometimes, especially for map food. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I love it when I get 2 forward deer packs versus an aggressive civ, where they have a nice safe patch right next to their base. If the map spawns are bad, then you'll be disadvantaged 50% of the time. If I say Ottoman is OP, as it was last patch, or Zushi 2 patches ago, you'll be disadvantaged 100% of the time when facing them, assuming you don't play a counter civ and at equal skill. So I think win rate was the wrong word to use, more likely chances to win. Anyway, balancing maps is hard because you don't know what to look for in advance. You might think that spawning 4 back golds for both players will be fair, but if it is HRE versus Delhi for an example, it's not. One does not care nearly as much about their gold being in the back. Same if all 4 gold spawns forward, mirroring that would only be favor Delhi. Good point, very good point. So mirroring does not really fix the issue that some sieves and playstyles will be favored depending on map spawns. That's very true, good point. Sorry, you are wrong there as well, it makes more of an impact. Disadvantage 50% of the time is also completely wrong. No, it's a bad matchup for HRE, but with the front goal it's almost impossible. Disadvantage 50% of the time is also completely wrong. No idea how you even reach that conclusion? Bad map gen doesn't care if you had previously good or bad map gen? There is zero metric? You are somehow conflating yellow matchmaking, which pulls towards 50%, because that's how it's designed, and bad RNG, which is uncontrolled. This guy is really missing the point, right? I think this proposition has nothing to do with yellow or anything, right? This guy doesn't even discuss the part of the mirroring, right? Yeah. Your last point is interesting, for sure that will be something that will need to be considered. I definitely don't see a world in which map spawns are specific, save specific, that would be crazy, yeah. Spawn them to the sides, still easier to defend than backside spawns, but also easier to attack than backside spawns. Yes, but actually no. Yes, map generation has an impact on the actual match. One player will be luckier with spawn. This is hard to balance, and my take is that if they balance it too much, it might remove the freshness you feel and different playstyle when playing the same map again and again. And no, because in a large sample, the same matchup will have 50-50 advantage spawns, which means it doesn't actually influence win rate. Yeah, kinda, yeah, I understand. I actually mostly agree with this. Map RNG has a larger impact on matches than we think, and it needs to be looked at. Starting gold positions is especially impactful. If I'm fighting a fast castle sieve, I have a far greater chance of winning if they have forward gold, and a significantly lower chance if they have back gold, which is kind of unfair. Starting resources definitely need to be mirrored on both sides. No. Mirroring is not the solution, because why scout for locations of opponent resources then? And I think gold should always spawn on the sides. The RNG of the rest of the map also needs to be looked at and made more fair. I don't think mirroring is the best solution here, because it will make the game too static and make scouting the opponent's side less important, yes. Agree, at the match earlier where the poor guy's initial wood line was so far away from his TC, but sometimes that's map specific, right? Agree. I was talking about this a while ago. In a truly competitive setting, mirror is the price to pay. No. The underlying problem is that no competitive game is perfect. When you reach highest levels of play, there are always imperfections that can be abused, outside factors that can detract from an otherwise level playing field. I've seen this no matter the genre. I've played at the top of multiple games, whether it was traveling for MLG events, for Halo back in the day, winning tourney, and money for CGC, counter... I don't know what that is. Perhaps the best example is League of Legends, which has an asymmetrical map. Over a decade of ongoing champ and map balance, with perhaps hundreds of billions of games of data for feedback. Yes, map generation matters. How you overcome that is things like best of 9 series, when the big money is on the line. Otherwise, if it is just something simple like ladder, these things will naturally balance out in the long run as you grind out hundreds or thousands of games. Which is kind of true, like somebody said, on a big scale, on a big sample size, you get good and bad spawns, so it cancels each other. I agree. I agree. Yeah. All right, good take, guys. Let me know what you think on the comments down below. I like the responses. Let me know what you think about mirroring the resources, and let me know what you think about the general state of the RNG in the game. See you next time. Thank you for watching.